he is just giving me pervert vibes. What is he gonna use this video for?
I mean, that was quite the creepy smile from Gino, wasn't it? He sure did look like he was enjoying himself, perhaps a bit too much. But one person who definitely isn't loving life at the moment is Rob. Poor, hungry Rob.
You ate the whole box of granola bars. I've said, Sophie, can you not eat the whole box? Because this is the only thing that I take to work.
I'm not arguing over granola bars.
What has this show become, honestly? Now, before we dive into what seems to be a miserable, hungry existence between Rob and Sophie, let's kick off this recap video with Gino and Jasmine. And right off the bat, let me just warn you, I've got some very strong opinions. It's been a very, very long time since I felt so angry watching an episode. Their segment this week really felt like a new low. It felt so utterly, utterly fake.
Seems like you need, I don't know, maybe a necklace or something.
You're serious.
You look nice, but you seem really tense.
Gino and Jasmine's storyline, I'm sorry, but it's been dragged out way, way too long. It's got to the point where they're pretending to fight just to stay interesting. Now, that isn't necessarily something new, but it is getting progressively worse. It's almost as if they don't even care that they're not convincing anymore. I mean, honestly, what are they even talking about? What is this argument even about?
Don't tell me I'm tense. I know I'm tense. I feel it in my back and my stomach. I'm hungry and I'm bloated.
It's close to that time of the month too, isn't it?
Don't start with that.
Look at that, look, notice how both of them are practically smiling while they have this supposed fight. Yeah, it's just not convincing anymore. It's like they've stopped trying. Now, eventually, after a lot of idle chit-chat, a lot of back and forth where nothing actually happened, Gino and Jasmine eventually leave to go to the dress rehearsal for this beauty pageant. And it's there that we witness some of the worst acting you've ever seen.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Miss Panama.
Hello?
Alright, action, here's what I want you all to do. Everyone stand around talking, and when Gino and Jasmine come in, just ignore them. That's gonna make for an interesting storyline. Like, come on, really? Is that what they've resorted to? Is that the best they can do? Also, while we're at it, why is Gino even there? I don't see anyone else's husband there at a rehearsal making a fool of themselves.
Posture, roll those shoulders. Good. So this is your stance.
Posture.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a reality show, not an episode of Modern Family. Now, if we look past the scripted element that's clearly going on here, when the time comes for all of the ladies, including Jasmine, to practice their stage walk, Gino decides to pull out his phone and film it all, presumably with the intention of picking up some intel and being able to give his client some pointers, because remember, he is now her pageant manager. But when the professionals give Jasmine some feedback, they tell her she needs to soften her smile a bit, which seems like pretty good advice, to be honest. Her smile does look a little psychotic.
What's wrong with it?
Well, that looked a little fake.
Oh, the irony. The smile is fake. No, guys, that's not the only fake thing on this show. This is all fake. But you know what? Like clockwork, almost as if it's a carefully scripted formula at this point. The time has now come, as it does in every episode, for these two to have another highly questionable fight.
I videotaped some of the girls that I thought had good posture and looked at the crowd.
Excuse me? You were recording other girls. That's bull.
Yeah, like I say, it's a tried and tested formula at this point. She's getting angry at the feedback, so now he's gonna tell her he's been videoing other girls. It's the crime of the century, I'm sure you'll agree. But Jasmine has her own unique way to try and spice it up a little. She resurfaces the storyline that they hark back to every time they're running low on anything else, that Gino is addicted to porn.
But he is just giving me pervert vibes. What is he gonna use this video for. Or you are gonna be using those videos for being masturbating later.
And it all culminates with Jasmine crying. Yeah, sorry Gino, you might need to look for another proper job perhaps, because pageant manager, her manager, clearly isn't gonna work out for you. Jasmine's way too insecure for that. Now, moving on, let's catch up with Emily and Kobe. Today, this evening, is their Cameroonian wedding celebration. And as we join Emily and her mum as they get ready, Emily's mum asks who's gonna be there.
Are his friends coming to the wedding, or?
I have no idea. I haven't talked to him. I don't know if Kobe's talked to him. I have no idea.
Really? Mm-hmm. You don't think that's gonna cause problems?
Okay, so supposedly they have no idea whether or not Kobe's friends will attend. Now, that is pretty much the main drama of the episode, right? They try and build in suspense about whether or not Kobe's friends, his oldest friends in the world, his closest friends in the world, will attend the fake wedding that's not really a wedding. Like, they try really hard to make it suspenseful, but it's just not. Sorry, but we all know it's so darn obvious that his friends will attend. Why are they even making this a thing? And lo and behold, guess what happens to no one's surprise? Yeah, Valerie walks in.
I mean, it's really nice to see Kobe's friends here, especially Valerie, since he is Kobe's best friend. But I really just hope they're here to support us.
Look, here's my issue with this. Instead of trying to artificially squeeze in this storyline and try and build suspense, why don't they just focus on the beauty of this ceremony? All the dancing, all the dresses, the hairdos. It's all lovely to watch. It doesn't need fake drama. They don't need to fashion this storyline. Will or won't his best friend in the whole wide world attend the ceremony? Of course he was going to come, and Valerie, as his best friend, as his best man, takes the mic to give a speech. And I think we can all predict how that's going to go.
We have been thinking the welfare of our brother, bringing up a white lady in Cameroon.
Yeah, just like last week, when they spent the entire episode previous to that teasing whether or not Kobe's ex would show up, this week they've spent the entire episode teasing Valerie's arrival, only to cut his speech midway. But, let's be real, it's a real red herring, it's a real distraction. We all know how it's gonna go. We all know that Valerie's gonna say he was wrong for judging Emily and he's happy for them both. Like that, I guarantee, is how his speech will end next episode. So with that in mind, let's move our focus to Rob and Sophie.
But this time she's just gonna spend some time trying to heal and feel what she's feeling.
I mean, it honestly just sounds like the same thing again.
Rob might be the one living this nightmare, but try being the one watching it for entertainment. This BS with Rob and Sophie has been going on all season. It's like a never-ending nightmare. They fight, Sophie moves out, Sophie then says that she loves him, she moves back in, and guess what? The cycle starts all over again. It's getting very repetitive, so much so, in fact, that even Rob is bored of it now.
Something's got to change. Like, you look really sad, she's sad.
I'm sad because my wife is always leaving.
But just remember, there's two sides to every story.
Now, as if Claire giving Rob marital advice isn't tense enough, it's at this point that she brings up the fact that the two of them always argue. You argue about everything. Sophie's phoned me before to tell me that you've had a go at her for having breakfast, Claire tells us. And Sophie comes downstairs just in time to join in with the argument.
About my granola bars, I get it. I ate a lot of granola bars. Sorry.
I was the one. I didn't even.
I was hungry. I wanted some granola bars.
She brought it up.
Now, the granola bar chat goes on for way too long, and then they resort to fighting about the fight they had a couple of days ago, and their argument predictably goes nowhere. Seriously, it's got to the point now where these two will just, sooner or later, they have to admit that they might love each other, but they really don't like each other, period.
This is what you need to reflect on.
I would like to. I know what I need to reflect on. You don't need to tell me what to reflect on.
You need to figure out if who I am as a person is somebody you can be with.
Yeah, we've been through all of this before, guys. Sophie needs to figure out if Rob is someone she can be with without always getting mad at him, and Rob needs to learn how to take accountability. Sorry, but there's really not much more to say. We've danced this dance. It's like Groundhog Day, as someone rightly pointed out in a comment last week. I get it, I feel it too, which is why, honestly, reminder, if you've got any requests for different shows you'd like me to cover, let me know down in the comments. I'm definitely open to it as Sophie is to forgiving Rob again, it seems.
This could be me happy with you, or this could be me with you, if you stay the same. Have anything else you need to say to me?
Well, I guess that at least is new. She's talking to Rob with a stuffed toy like he's a traumatised child. I'd be speechless too if someone did that to me. And for the first time in, well, almost their entire relationship, maybe this time it's Sophie that's pushed Rob too far.
If we wasn't married, I don't think I would be right here right now like I am now. Not at all.
Look, can one of these guys please just make a decision to leave and commit to it already? It feels like the only way either of them are going to be happy at this point. Now, saving the best till last, let's move on to my favourite throuple at the moment, Patrick, Thais and John. The last we saw them, John had just called Thais' friend a slut, and she in return had just thrown her drink all over him.
I just bought this shit.
This is what I'm talking about. Drama, action, controversy, some element of believability. Is that even a word? Believability? Well, whether it's a real word or not, believability is exactly what we need more of in everyone else's storylines. I think the truth is here that Thais has been telling her friend a lot of negative stuff about John and Patrick. That's got to be the reason why her friend had such a strong opinion about both of them, even though she'd never met either of them before. Like, surely Thais has to take some accountability and responsibility for that. There's gotta be a reason why her friend felt the need to go to such lengths on her behalf, right?
Natalie came off really hot, like thinking like I cheated on Thais and, John's a bad influence.
When you act like that, I'm gonna call you a slut. I don't know too many words in Portuguese.
I think the worst part of this is that Thais doesn't seem to see how out of line her friend was. Now, Thais goes outside with her friends and she proceeds to blame John for everything that happened. She, in fact, goes as far as to call John a drunk. And when Natalie refuses to stay and she leaves, her criticism of John just intensifies.
I'm not upset with Natalie throwing drink in John's face. He deserves it. Men are respect for him in Brazil. So calling a woman slut is not something nice.
No, sorry, Thais. It was your friend that started this. She called John an arsehole, completely unprovoked. Not just that, Thais, but she also tried to paint out Patrick as being the kind of guy that might cheat on you. How do you not have anything to say about that? Now, Thais claims that tonight was supposed to be fun. It was supposed to be a catch-up with her closest friends that she hasn't seen in a number of years. It wasn't supposed to be this dramatic. But the truth is, Thais is the one to blame. She's the one that's been feeding her friends these views of her husband and brother-in-law.
You think it's right? Call someone.
I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right that she just like said John's a bad person.
Thais reveals that her friend Natalie has actually been cheated on in the past. Perhaps that explains why she felt the need to be so overprotective about Thais. She's hoping the same thing doesn't happen to her too. But while that may be a reason or a rationale for her actions, it doesn't excuse her behaviour. I'm sorry, Thais, it doesn't. From where I'm sitting, your friend is much more in the wrong than John and his limited Portuguese vocabulary.
Você vai ficar defendendo?
Ela não fala bom coisa sobre John. He's super dodgy.
Anyway, if you've made it this far to this point in the video, do me a favour, hit that subscribe button please. I'm on a mission to bring this percentage down. Nearly 70% of people watching this right now aren't subscribed. If that's you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, show your love, show your support, and I'll catch you on the next video.